Running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans. Welcome to Talking in Ovals. How is everybody doing out there on this Monday, December 22nd, 2025? I'm Alex, partner in crime there is Dave. What's going on, brother?
Not much. I just want to start off the show with a huge shout out to Tom's River North alum
Oh,
JP
yeah.
Flavin, going out there to Arizona, running the marathon project sponsored by Hoka, and coming out with a huge win, sub
Yes.
210. He ran 209.18. I just want to say, like he makes Ocean County proud, and it's awesome. Like I went to Tom's River South. He's a Tom's River North guy. Just really, really cool to see someone who has passion and just keep going well beyond college.
Absolutely. So, as we get into Christmas spirit here, it's episode 170. So, for those keeping score at home, we ended up not having a show last week. There was a whole bunch of hubbub going on. It just didn't work for me at one point, Dave at one point, our guest at another point, and it was just one of those things where let's just push it back. And now, in the spirit of Christmas, you guys will be getting two episodes this week.
Yes,
So,
you will.
we have our episode today with our guest. And then tomorrow, we're doing another episode with our guest from last week. So it's just going to be fun. 2 weeks ago, we had the fun time of talking to Zig Ziegler again,
Yeah,
where all the stuff that he is doing with the World Indoor Track and Field League, Track Fit, if you want to see what is probably coming down the pike very
absolutely.
soon and what is next in the world of track and field and athletics in general, Zig's a guy you want to go to. So, um,
Fascinating show.
yeah, go to World Indoor Track and Field League. Go on that website. Check out what Track Fit is. You may be getting a Track Fit facility near you at some point. So it's something really cool that everybody should go and scope out. If you're a runner, even if you're not a runner and you're just an athlete, this is something for you. So
Absolutely.
excited for that. Definitely go back. But this week we are having on a guest, and Dave, listen, I love our pros. I love our coaches. I love all the people we get, but our high school athletes always end up being the best.
They
They
are.
do. Our high school athletes and our young college athletes, they always end up being the best. So no pressure on this athlete coming on, but let's bring her in. She is Cali Buxbaum. She is a senior cross country and track and field distance runner over at Wall High School. Callie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. And obviously, you were brought on this show via you and Dave seeing each other frequently because you guys share the necessity of finding an oval to go and train on. Isn't that right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
So we're pumped to have you on. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, man, we have some PRs to do here. Dave, you
Yeah.
ready to laugh at me as I try and get some names correct? 'Cause that's all you do. So,
It's
Callie,
one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
here's the thing that you need to be filled on.
That's why I don't do
This
it.
isn't we both do PRs. This is Alex tries to pronounce a bunch of high schoolers' names and like not ruin it all. Like Zig actually bailed me out on so many 2 weeks ago.
It is.
So Callie, if you want to correct me, if you think I'm pronouncing a name terribly,
Okay.
please help me. So this is over from Coach Tom Figueroa, as always, sending us some awesome stuff from Michigan. Here he says we're 2 meets now into indoor and a good amount of PRs again this week. We were once again at Grand Valley State University and had a good showing with 30 PRs, 6 top 3 finishes, including Seth, first in the men's 800 meter and our men's finishing first in the 4x4 relay. Genders are grouped by number, high school, sophomore and up, freshman. Well, he gave me the little thing. Also includes elementary school kids at middle school, just so I can ruin it anyway. All right. So let's start off here. In the
Have
event,
fun.
the 60, we have a freshman over here, Josh Scarich. I'm going to say Scarich. Josh Scarich ran a 7.55, so that's a good PR for him. Now, hey, Dave, Alex
Alex
Scott's back
Scott,
in the
yes,
400.
our XC guy.
So, yeah, Callie, just some inside baseball here. Alex Scott, he's a senior sprinter, ran cross country all year, and we were just rooting for him, man. His PR dropped from like a 30 down to a 23 in a season. So
Wow.
it was awesome. So we were pumped for him. So Alex Scott making an appearance. He's a senior, 400, running a 55.01. And then we have a ninth grader again, Josh, coming back with the 400, running a 53.51. And then we have our first middle schooler, first grader over here, running a 400 with a
First grade.
minute 37.99. There we go. Let's go with the first graders, Mateo Perez. Let's go. Now let's go to the ladies. And this is the long one with the 800, it looks like. So 11th grader, Madison Lipinski, ran a 2:37.66. And then we have a ninth grader, Lydia Dwyer, ran a 2:26.72. Another ninth grader, Tala Carlin, ran a 2:30.34. And then we have Allison Cassiano, a seventh grader, ran a 2:28.52. Eighth grader Taylor Schultz ran a 2:29.14. And then let's get on to the gentleman here. Seth Randall, a sophomore, with his winning time of 1:56.81. Awesome there. Landon Rogers, a senior, coming in with a 1:57.54. Connor Beebe, I'm going to say Beebe. Connor Beebe, a junior, ran a 2:05.37. Matthew Laporte, a 10th grader, ran a 2:07.19. Then Cassiano coming back from his, I think he ran a 400 before. 800 here, 2:10.41. Braden Shu, 10th grader, ran a 2:17.04. Devin, I ruined this one last week too. How did Zig say it last week?
Zavoda, just like the sprinter from
Voboda?
Sweden. Yeah,
There we go.
where she's from. Yeah.
So the freshman 800 ran a 2:11.98. Caleb, I ruined this one too last week. Skagoda?
Shigoda.
A freshman ran a 2:19.34. Cali, don't laugh at me down there. Javier JJ Garcia, freshman, ran a 2:31.59. Easton Netzley, an 8th grader, 800, ran a 2:22.49. Colton Cade, 6th grader, 2:41.76. Milo Burnick, a 6th grader, also in the 800, ran a 3:18.71. And now we jump in to the glamorous mile. Starting off with the ladies. Madison Lipinski coming back, a junior, running a 6:06.74. Tala Carlin, 9th grader, coming back with a 5:27.47. And then for the gentlemen, Connor Beebe, ran a junior, ran a 4:41.12. Mason Rogers, a 9th grader, 4:40.07. Javier JJ Garcia, 9th grader, 5:44.54. Caleb Shigoda with a 9th grader, 5:51.18. Easton Netzley, 8th grader, 5:14.44. Colton Cade, 6th grader, 5:51.39. And rounding it out, Milo Burnick, 6th grader, 7:11.90. So
well done, sir.
Well done for me. Well done for everyone that ran PRs more than anything. Awesome job out there. And we say to all of our guests, Callie, now you're on the hot seat. You got to be sending us your PRs because I want to add to that. I want to take like half the show just to talk about PRs.
Okay.
But yeah, no, some fast times there. I'm excited for all the Michiganders getting out there. Sure. Have you ever competed in Michigan for any sport or anything, Callie?
I have not.
Me neither.
Is that a place that you'd like want to go out to?
I've been out to Michigan before, football game, but
which team? Michigan or Michigan State? There's a wrong answer and a right answer.
Neither.
Oh, where'd you go?
We went out for a Rutgers game.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Rutgers. That's the best answer, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't win. That's for sure.
No, they definitely didn't win. Well, it depends. If it's Michigan State, they chance because they've been decent against Michigan State since getting into the Big Ten. Michigan just schlacks them. They had one good game against Michigan, I think. They were close, and then Michigan closed it out. It was like the beginning of the Harbaugh years. But
I went there when they won, I think, 3 games my whole 4 years there.
Yeah, but they had the cooler helmets there. They had the actual Scarlet Knight on the side of the helmet when you were there. Like, they were awesome back then. Sure. But anyway, outside of football talk, we will jump back in to track and field talk because we want to get into the meat and potatoes of the show here. Callie, we want to talk all about you. So first thing I like to ask people, and you have a different journey than most into becoming a runner. So yours may be a little different here because we like to ask everyone when they got the spark to want to become a runner. So when did you kind of get that spark of this is what I want to do? I'm dropping everything else and I'm going to become a runner.
Sometime between my freshman and sophomore year. And I found the most joy in running compared to soccer. My whole life, I thought that's what I love the most. That's what I want to continue doing. But
what position did you play in soccer?
A little bit of everywhere. A lot of center mid.
There you go. That's the middle distance runner right there. Center mid. I'm already running 3 miles a game, 4 miles a game. I might as well go do it on a track.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much how it worked. But I love the competitiveness with it. And I feel like, honestly, just the fact that I felt like I was competing against myself a lot and I was trying to better myself and my times, just that definitely made a spark to it. But I just eventually fell in love with it.
Were you surprised? I think a lot of people, and we talk about it often on the show, but a lot of people do think of like track as solitary. And track can be semi solitary. There's a team aspect, but it is much more of a solitary thing. You have your teammates on the line sometimes, but if you're one of the better athletes, you kind of go a little further on your own sometimes, right? Cross country is different. Were you surprised at how much of a team cross country really felt like, even though it was just running and there's not like that stipulation as other like team sports have?
Yes. I cross country, I feel like it is just one big team. It's just like you're running with your friends. It's even the whole race. It's just like everyone's in it together. And it's just like no one's alone. You have everyone around you. And everyone just you just want everyone around you to do like the best they could be.
Right.
And I feel like running, it truly is like a team sport because you can't make it anywhere without the people by you.
Sure.
Because if
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have like a team, if you don't have people around you, they support you and they help you grow to become a better person and runner.
And also in
Yeah.
this area where we live, like the athletes from all the teams are kind of like one big team. Like they all cheer for each other, especially on the girls' side. Like you guys are
Yeah.
all really really close, which is another form, team wise, which is
I
cool.
like to say we're like one big family, honestly. So
It
it's great to have all of everyone around supporting.
And it's so crazy how that shifted. We talk about that often
Oh
too,
yeah.
right? Because back when Dave was running
Oh
high
yeah.
school, it was all cutthroat.
Oh
And
yeah.
then even when I was there, like you were friendly-ish with the same people you saw on the line, to the point was like, hey, good luck, let's go run a good race. But you weren't cooling down and warming up with them like we see now. Like the only time you kind of wanted to like pal up a little is if you were at conferences and it's like, okay, CBA is not winning, one of us is gonna win. Like it was one of those where it was like, we're public over
No,
private. Like that was the only time there was
there
any sort
was
of camaraderie.
no time. My coach forbid us to talk. Like we were not allowed to speak to anybody from other teams. Like it was like I remember a kid like being sat out of a meet because he was talking to his old middle school friend. I was like, all right.
I mean, that
Wow.
was the only time we had
Like
camaraderie, I remember, is like when it
I
was
went to
like
Tom's
public
River
versus
South.
private.
Like we didn't
Yeah.
talk to anybody from North or East, even though like I went to middle school with all those kids. We just nope, weren't allowed to. It's a different
That's
world.
I
But
really
but now
think
that I'm coaching it, it's like kind of cool to like because I think it kind of enhances like the whole sport because like even coaches are a lot more friendlier now. So
Mhm.
I think it's kind of cool because you can learn so much from other athletes or from other coaches too. So I think in that aspect, it's certainly grown.
Yes. And I feel like it takes off some of the pressure if you're like close, like friendly with the people on the line and everyone's just rooting on for each other. Like it just takes off a little bit of the pressure.
Sure.
would it be possible to kind of not have a pseudo relationship with the way Strava is and with the way social media is? Like, you guys are all so connected, and it's like everyone knows what everyone's doing. So it's like, is it almost impossible to not at least have some sort of connection with someone that you see at like every single invite and things like that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Now with internet and how everything is everywhere, I feel like with everyone you're running up against, you have some type of connection.
Not just that, like we see each other at every meet. Like it's this
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because like you have like there's meets that you have to go to, and there's like 3 or 4 in a row where like it's the same teams against the same kids, and it's it's cool, I guess, but it's also nice to kind of go and kind of race people that you don't know.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you kind of about your journey, and we can
Yeah, let's
kind
do
of
it.
fit in kind of the social media aspect and the camaraderie, because I think that Dave, I think we'll make this observation. It's probably very different from what she went through coming in from a sport into our sport, as opposed to someone back in the day when there wasn't that camaraderie. It was just you, your team, hate everybody. And so let's talk about your journey first, because like you mentioned, you were a soccer girl, you played basketball. What was it like? Kind of, did you ever run in middle school or do any like turkey trots or anything on the side while you were still a soccer player, basketball player? So talk about your transition from being more of a team athlete, soccer and basketball, into the running world.
In middle school, I ran track in
Okay.
7th and 8th grade. So, and I almost didn't do it in high school. I almost switched over to lacrosse. But honestly, when I was younger, I hated running anything distance. It would be like throw a party if I ran 2 or 3 miles. I was always more of like a short sprinter. So I definitely made a huge shift becoming like a miler and even cross country.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a big shift for me.
So when you finally decided to leave the other sports, what was it like from your other, your former teammates, I guess, like, in soccer and like basketball and stuff? Were they supportive in the move? Were they kind of like, hey, what are you doing? We need you. Like, because I did my senior year, and Dave hates me for this still, and a lot of people hold it against me. I stopped running cross country and went and played football my senior year because I played football my freshman year. And I was like, I want to end out my senior year being a football player. So I kind of had the reverse. The runners were mad at me. So
You
what
know
was
what?
it like? Go
I
ahead,
think
Dave.
though, when you run as fast and as well as Cali has, you would hope that the other people in school would be like, listen, I completely get it. Like to take that next level, you got to run in the fall, or you have to do this like all summer. So I would hope that was the interaction that you had with them.
Yeah, everyone was honestly so supportive, especially my coaches as well. They supported me throughout the whole season, always cheering me on, and
That's awesome.
they only wanted like what was best for me. And
Yeah.
I went and supported them as much as they could for soccer.
Sure.
And it was just a very easy and supportive transition for me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's awesome by your coach, because I know as a coach, if I had a kid say who was a good runner, but they were like excelling in wrestling, I would never say you need to come out for winter track. Like, I wouldn't want to take that away from the athlete.
Yeah.
100%. So now I want you to walk us down memory lane. What have been some of your favorite memories as a runner? You could start like go back to middle school when you were competing there, and then kind of freshman year in when you stepped into indoor after your sophomore year, and now in XC your senior year. What have been some of your favorite memories?
So you guys probably know her, Jessica Abbott.
Of course.
I have been running with her since I was little. We would always do these little, like small little races as kids.
Gone running.
That was always a fun time running with her, racing against her. So we've always been friends with each other. We've always been competitive. So that's something I've always enjoyed as a kid. Um, Going into middle school, I loved doing the 4x4. I had a lot of friends just from other, like, I was in Ocean County at the time.
Okay.
That was always such a fun. I loved doing the relay to finish off the meet, and I would be racing against some of my close friends from like Tom's River South, Tom's River East, all those schools. So that was always very fun. Coming into high school, especially my freshman year, we had a very good relay team. We did all the relays together. We had two seniors on the team, so they were both graduated after that year, but I always had such a fun time with them with relays. I am a big fan of relays. Every relay I've done, it's always so much fun, and you also really bring in a team aspect there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I every relay I've done throughout high school has been so much fun. And every time, every state meet throughout high school, those are what you race high school track for, I feel like, because that's championship season. You want to go and you want to win. So those are
100%.
great.
So I
So
want to ask you,
good.
as this year being your first year running cross country, how
Mhm.
much do you feel that is going to give you even more success for the upcoming winter and spring season? And because I mean, you ran really, really well. Like, you didn't just run cross country,
Mhm.
just like you took it seriously and you were extremely competitive. And I think it's great because a lot of people don't think that you have to run cross country, but it helps middle distance runners so much. So what was your reaction or your opinion of running XC, and how do you think that it'll help you going forward?
I feel like it's definitely going to help me a lot going forward. I was out for hurt 2 months over the summer, so I still didn't really have the best base as I coming out of it as I would have liked to have. But still running those longer races, I feel like is gonna make now running the 800 and the mile just seem that much easier. And I feel like that's why middle distance runners, I feel like cross country is a big benefit to them,
Agreed.
just because now coming into indoor season, you have your base already, and you don't need to spend
Definitely.
those few weeks building that base, and you could get right into like the track training.
Absolutely.
So, and it's interesting too, because you're knocking on the door of one of those elite times in the 800. Like you're right at that 210 precipice. Are you like, and I remember like some of the hardest things as a runner, Dave will attest to this, is when you're at that precipice, it's so hard to just not press, right? Like, because like you're training to run sub 210. You can break 210. And it's like, okay, I got to get with these girls because I know they run around 209, 208. So let me go and keep with them. And it's like, this is when it's you got to also remind yourself, just like, run my race, right? Like, don't put any extra pressure. So what has that been like, thinking about that coming into indoor? And is like, are you trying to like tell yourself like, I'll do it, don't worry about it? Like, what is that like right now?
Yeah. So I always try and remind myself, like, run your own race, because I am very prone to sometimes saying, like, let's just go for it and just hope for the best. Doesn't always turn out the best, because sometimes I wonder if I'm going to make it to the finish line. But I feel like I've learned throughout the past years that sometimes running your own race is what works best. And
Yeah.
you just need to trust yourself and trust your training. Last year, I definitely learned that a lot coming into outdoor from indoor, that just trust the training, because everyone out there is in a different journey.
Yep.
So, like, even going on the line, I know I want that sub 210. And I know there's people in that race that run it,
Yeah.
but they might be starting out a lot faster and fall back. And I might be the opposite. So I'm going to try my best to stick with that and run my race. Hopefully I can do that.
You're going to. You're going
But
to do it in indoor. I'm calling it right now. You're going to do it in indoor. So what's it been like coming into, because obviously you run a whole lot of outdoor, but XC is different. Indoor, you're still like, you're a season deep, right? What has it been like kind of learning the difference between running some of these invites, which there's so many more fast invites now in high school that
Oh yeah.
coaches target, especially for athletes like yourself who are at those, elite level times. What is it like learning how to go and run in those invites and try and get that fast time, as opposed to, okay, it's county's time, okay, it's state's time? Like, it's all about place now. I don't care if I go and run a 218, as long as I move on and qualify. I
Right.
just want to qualify. So what is that like, learning to have that mindset to switch off from go get a PR to go and move on in this
Yep.
race?
it definitely took a little trial and error to, like, learn that. That's for sure. But when you get to those county races where you just need to run and move on, I feel like I often find myself, we have some very good packs with the
Yeah.
runners around here. So, I mean, honestly, it
Yeah,
gets
I'd
pretty
say.
easy.
I was gonna ask that next. Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. So, shut off the mind, run a fun race, move on. So be it. Like,
Yeah.
no pressure going into the race. So, but then when I go to these big invites, nerves definitely hit a bit more. So I just try and stay relaxed. And I feel like I often find myself just trying to find a good pack where I feel comfortable without getting boxed, which also gets harder because everyone there usually runs
They're
at the same
fast.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's just trying to get the best positioning and trying to hold on come the end of the race.
And honestly, being in the county and the section that you're in, you almost have to run a PR every single meet just to advance. Like, there aren't many times where you can run, 220 and say, "Oh, I made it through." Whereas, because like Monmouth County, especially in the past couple of years,
Just loaded.
with the 800 females, has been ridiculous. Short conference, Central Jersey too is an N3. It's absolutely just crazy. So like, you haven't really had many of those chances to say, "I'm just going to take it easy today," because you can't.
Yeah, that is true. But I also love that about our county and group, because everyone around me is pushing me to
Sure.
become a better runner, pushing me for those fast times. Some of the times I've run at those at our like group 2 sectionals,
Yeah.
and just because of the people around me. So I can't complain too much about that, but it is a lot of fast races.
So is it setting it at all yet as a senior that you went out, you had a good XC season? Like, for someone that hasn't, been an XC veteran, like, you ran well.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I always like to ask this, like, is there a realization that everyone kind of looks around and it's like, oh, this person's here, but like, people are going around going, "Oh crap, Callie's here." Like, have you kind of noticed that? Like, are you is that setting in at all that like you're not the girl that's looking at other targets. You're also a girl that's a target for people. Like,
Sure.
has that almost set in yet that as senior year, like they're looking, it's like, oh crap, Callie's gonna be on the line. Okay, I gotta be at my best.
Honestly, no. Not
Good.
really.
Keep it that way.
Yeah, I kind of just go into the race. I don't really think, I mean, of course, I look at the girls around me and see who I'm racing against, but as I was saying before, I try and like focus on my own race a lot more. And I just go and I run. I don't really think of what other people are thinking, what they're doing. I just
Smart.
go.
I just find this so funny because like it's like when you realize that everyone's kind of looking at each other in the same way. Like, and it doesn't matter if like you're like the top girl or you're just like sneaking into that final heat, that seeded heat. Everyone's kind of looking around, going, "Oh crap, I know that girl. Oh, they're there. Okay, I got like." Everyone's kind of glancing, and it's like it's once you get to that point where you're consistently getting into those seeded heats and stuff, everyone knows who each other is, and it's like you're kind of all looking at each other, going, "Okay." She runs a PR. I'm with her. I could beat her. And now I'm going to run a PR. Like it's always like, it's always
We all know what one another run. We all do.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to jump into your training because we often make fun of Dave on the show because he has his J and he does as well as he could with his J over at Manasquan.
The old J
They
track.
do they do as good as they can, and they have their half a track. Great for sprinters, not great for distance runners, but obviously he has to train somewhere else to go and get what he needs to get. Now you are also in that same situation at Wall. What is that like, having to start doing track workouts, but before you get on there it's like, okay, go get changed and let's head over to the track? So what do you guys do? Do you guys jump on a bus, head over there? Do the
No,
seniors and juniors drive you over? How does that work?
we all meet there.
Yeah, what about you, Cal? You guys just all meet there?
It's just me.
Just
So
wait.
Okay.
yeah, just me. So it definitely is a lot. I train by myself most of the year.
Sure.
So Wall is mainly like sprinters, our
Mhm.
team. So there isn't really other distance runners to really train with. So it does get to be like a lot on like the mental side, putting through like these hard track workouts
Could
completely
imagine.
on your own.
Yeah.
Especially when it's
Especially
35 degrees and
Yeah.
it's always windy over at Point Beach because there's nothing there, so it's just the wind just coming off.
Yeah, it feels like I'm always stuck in a wind tunnel, but
So is it nice to see a friendly face every once in a while when you see Dave and some of the
yeah,
Manasquan girls and guys there? Is it like, okay, I'm not on my own. I might be doing my own workout, but I'm at least not alone on the track today.
no, definitely. Just seeing other people out there just makes a huge difference because there's other people around you putting in the work,
Oh yeah.
suffering through whatever workout they might be doing, and just that like I'm not the only one out there. So
Yeah.
that definitely does help.
And it's been just so windy and just so cold. It's been
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, it's like I need to mentally prepare to get out of my car from my heated seats.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the other part that I was like, you can't stretch inside. You can't warm up inside. Like, everything is out there on the track in the wind. So like most teams can stretch in the school and just go out, just run out on the track. But we all have to it's just cold, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I go through a lot of layers, that's for sure.
So does doing what you have to do, being as committed as you have to be to sit there and like you said, it is now 20 something degrees, it's starting to flurry, it's windy, and I have to go do some repeat miles on the track. My car's really warm. Crap. Like, does having to get out of that car, do what you have to do, hit your times, run what you need to run, give you a little bit of an extra chip when you get out there and you're in these invites and you're at these meets where it's like looking at some of these schools, knowing they have great facilities, they have awesome opportunities, they have other athletes to train with, they are like, does it give you a little bit of motivation to go, I'm gonna go kick all their asses? Like, I am so much more dedicated than all of you. Not to be like, everyone's dedicated in their own way, but like, do you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder for all the work that you're putting in to go out and produce?
Honestly, yeah, I do, and especially now going into these races also, it helps a lot just because I go from not running with other girls, I'm hitting the times I need to for my workouts without anyone else around me, I'm pacing myself, and now when I step into these races, I have girls around me, I have girls to pace off of, and I'm just not alone anymore. So it's so much easier to just shut off the mind and run.
Does it make you fearless if you're ever in a situation where all of a sudden you're running your race and you're on your own and you're just like, well, I do this all the time. I'm not afraid to lead. Like, let's go. Like, I'm alone all the time. Like, because I know a lot of athletes, or even if you're like, now that it like there's a front pack and then there's a back and then you're in the middle, like people hate being in that no man's land in some races. For you, is it like, oh, hey, I'm home? Like, this is not a big deal. Like, are you super comfortable just being alone now because of what you have to do?
I am. Yeah, I feel like I honestly am. And I also have learned, I feel like from doing that, pushing to my limits also. Like if I ever find myself in like a gap, like between two packs, I like to chase. Like I will do whatever I can to get up to the pack in front of me.
So can we at least, so hold on, it's winter break. Anyone from Wall alumni that are watching, can we at least get a dude or a girl like that's an alumni to go and at least pace Callie while she's like doing her winter workouts? Like, can we help her out if you're an alumni? There are some talented Wall alumni out there. Okay.
Sure.
Can you come home and help a girl out? And even if you're like now graduated and say you're done, you're in your mid 20s, please go meet this young lady at the track. Give her someone to train with. What are we doing here? Like, come on.
Listen, you know what? But some athletes, they enjoy that, like just that knowing that they're doing it by themselves and that
Oh, yeah.
and that they can get it done because it just gives them that extra edge.
So, ever astute, we love Coach Torchia over here.
Yes.
Coach Torchia from CBA coming in and asking the question, Callie, how important do you think sleep and eating is for your training?
I feel like it's crucial. You're not going to make any progress if you're not eating and you're not sleeping, because I've definitely learned, I've suffered from a lot of injuries, and my nutrition and like sleeping, I feel like when I wasn't eating enough, I wasn't sleeping enough, that's when I got hurt. That's when I got sick.
Yeah.
So I feel like with the proper nutrition and sleep, like you don't have any limits. Like the sky just keeps going, what you can do.
I question how I ever got faster. Like with this new generation.
You didn't know then. Like I ate McDonald's for lunch every day because I didn't know.
I ate McDonald's during some distance runs. Like,
so Callie, recently your one of your training weeks was put up on Instagram.
Yep.
And it seems like you find a lot of importance in cross training. So can you just kind of talk about like how important that is to you and how you feel that gives you an advantage?
Yes. So I've used cross training my whole career a lot, and especially this cross country season, I used a lot of cross training just to keep me healthy and getting on the line to run. And I feel like especially for someone who is more prone to getting injuries, going on the bike, the elliptical, swimming, and hitting it hard, getting your heart rate up and just going on it for a long time, like that can help you.
Sure.
Especially if you keep your confidence with it when you're towing the line, because you're still putting in work, you're gaining from that. And if you just keep that confidence, that can still help you as if you were running. And even so, it could be used in addition to some miles. So if you might want to, like in the morning, hop on an elliptical before workout in the afternoon, that's also just some extra without more pounding on the ground.
I think what you said is vital because I think so many kids and probably some adults think, well, if I go on the elliptical, I'm skipping a day or I'm not training hard enough. But like you said, you can hit that thing hard.
Mhm.
And like you can get like, I mean, some like they're sweating even more so than they would be if we were outside. Like, so and it's great because it's less impact. And I think it's great that you and your coach are incorporating all these things because the key is health, especially at a school where it's, you know, you don't have a huge team, like, you know, your whole team is kind of depending on you, you know, so it's always good to find ways where you feel confident that you're still getting in the work that you need, but your coach also knows that, you know, like her legs are being reserved in some sort of way. So that's good.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm also excited that in 10 years, you're going to come back on the show as a pro ultra marathoner because like you are leading or like just like a triathlete because you are like leaning right into like the triathlete realm where it's like, I can run, I can bike already. So I'm going to go and do it all. Do you find yourself during like the summer or other times, do you have a bike itself? Do you go biking in general too? Or is it mostly just on a stationary bike?
I do the stationary bike a lot, and I do have bikes, especially. I mean, my parents are both very active, so
It's helpful.
my whole life, like we got our mountain bikes, we go hiking, we hit the mountains.
It's
So
awesome.
I do a bit of everything.
Yeah, like I said, I think you're going to have a really good career. And also, congrats on your commitment to Boston.
Yes.
So much.
That is incredible. That I'm also jealous that you're going to go from not having an outdoor track to having two of the nicest facilities around in the outdoor track and
And I mean,
arguably the best indoor track in the country and the magic carpet up there in BU.
and it's coming full circle with it. You and Jess Abbott both going to
Yes.
BU.
It's very
Yeah.
exciting.
That's cool.
It's yeah, you get to reconnect over there, and that's always going to be fun. So, one thing we always like to ask our athletes, especially ones that have finished the process of getting into school and stuff, what was your experience like being recruited? Because obviously you have a little bit of a different track, right? And BU is a major program. There's a lot of fast guys and girls over there. Um, so what was that like getting recruited, especially, I haven't run cross country yet. This is my only year of XC. I'm only 1 year deep in indoor at this point. How was that process like?
Sure.
And, you don't have to give away any other schools, but were there multiple schools involved in this process?
Yes, there was, and it definitely got a little stressful coming down to the last couple months because at first I couldn't decide.
Oh yeah.
There's so many schools out there, and I just didn't really know what felt like home yet. And for me personally, like what I was looking for in my search for schools was just a place that felt like home.
Sure.
And I feel like I honestly didn't really know exactly where I wanted to be or end up until I took my visits, met some of the girls, stayed overnight with them. And that's kind of when, after I started doing that, like my nerves, stress, it all kind of went away because I just knew where I felt like home for me.
Yeah, you know what? And when you get down to those last two or three, it's
It's
almost
hard.
like hard, but it's also you almost have to tell yourself, I'm going to be happy with whatever choice that I make. So let's just make one and then just
Yes.
go with that.
Yeah.
Was there any comfort in knowing that you're going from a place like kind of the shore conference and where we are in Jersey, like we have a great running culture. Like I'm over here in New York and I have a nice running culture where I am. I'm in the Hudson Valley. Hudson Valley is a really good running culture, but you don't realize that not all places have that. Like we're kind of spoiled that the shore conference, Monmouth and Ocean takes running and distance running real seriously. Did you find that any sort of comfort there that Boston really takes distance running very seriously? Because the Greater Boston team is one of the best club
Sure.
teams around. Like everyone knows Greater Boston. They are all around there. Then obviously you have Boston College, you have BU, you have the New Balance track there. Like the culture is awesome.
And now
Was
you
that a
have the old
factor?
Foot Locker meet or Brooks meet
Yeah,
is
yeah.
also there
So
now.
was that a factor in choosing there? The fact that you're going from a place, where you're coming from a running culture over in the short conference in Jersey to another place that really takes the time to enjoy running as well.
I feel like that was a little bit of a factor for me, especially the first time I went to Boston for indoor nationals and I was outside running and everyone around me is running and it just feels like a great community around there. So that definitely it was great.
And there's so many fast tracks there. So it's
Yeah.
like every meet that you're going to go to, you don't even have to travel. You can just go to every meet, right there close by. It's
Yeah.
a really cool
Great.
vibe there. It's a really cool, it's a very distance running, like running just whole town and city. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So have you decided what your major is going to be when you go to school?
I am going in as undecided just because I've honestly bounced around between a million different things. So a month ago, I was saying, oh, I want to become like a PA, something medical. And now I'm like, oh, business. So I honestly have no idea yet.
I'm waiting for one kid to say I'm going there to major in track.
I mean, eventually, maybe one day that'll be a destination thing. That track
No,
is something people go and major
it's your
in.
education because that's
Yeah.
that's paramount. So
So with you on the athlete side, being, one of the, gifted high school athletes, has there been a lot of talk amongst the athletes in terms of like the NIL and what that does and things like that? Because I mean, BU is a major program. So I'd imagine you run well at BU. There might be some people in the Boston area. They're like, hey, we'll pay you to come do a signing here. We'll come to a shoe store and do something. Is the NIL a factor at all into anything that you think of or the athletes that you talk to around you in terms of when people are looking at schools or when you were even looking?
I mean, for me, it wasn't. I feel like it doesn't play a huge factor, but I feel like there certain areas it does because NIL now is
Bonkers.
becoming huge.
It's
Crazy.
wild.
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities out there for it as well that there's many people like take advantage of also. But I mean, me personally, it really didn't make an effect on me. Like, if it happens, it does. If not, like, it's not really something I'm out like searching for.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on all these athletes that are like going into a school and entering the transfer portal, like basically after a year or like something like that? And like, cause I know, like, I get some of them, like if your coach dips out, I understand that, right? You were recruited by this coach,
Sure.
they leave. Okay. I'm
Which is
now
a
want to
huge
go
factor.
to,
Why?
I want to
That's
go
a
to
big
somewhere
factor.
else, right? I get that. But like, obviously, like you said, like you went to BU, you had other schools, you felt such a connection. Like, what's your opinion on some of these athletes that are just like, oh, I committed here, but I'm out. Like, what is you? How do you feel of like someone coming in and committing and everything?
I'm not the biggest fan of like people transferring, especially after like just a year or two, because you just committed there, you chose to go to that school. And if you didn't truly like love that school, love the coach, love the team, then like I say maybe don't commit there. But unless there's like many people have their reasons,
Yeah,
Sure.
of course,
coaches
of course.
leave, things happen, they don't feel right there. But if people are just transferring to transfer, especially, I feel like a lot of it now with people transferring does have to do with NIL and money.
100%.
So that also is playing a major impact, I feel like, with the transfer portal.
Absolutely. So, what are some of your goals for this
Just gonna ask that.
upcoming winter and even spring? Like, do you look more on times? Do you look more on place? Like, is it more of a like you want to place high in a certain meet, or you just want to run certain times? Because it's so different for so many kids, and some of it depends on the team that you're on. There's just so many factors.
I personally, for goals, I set for times that I want to reach. And I really, really want sub 450 and sub 210.
I love
Nice.
it.
That's what I'm shooting for this year.
For winter or for just like, do you consider winter and spring one? Like, do you kind of train as if they're one season, or do you kind of look at them as two separate entities?
I want to get it this indoor season.
There you go.
There you
go.
I want that. I want the sub 450 and sub 210.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to get it indoor.
And then outdoor, it's sub 445 and sub 207,
I think you're going to get it early. I think you're going to get it early and you're going to be looking at some big goals in outdoor. I do. Because I just see, I think XC, it's going to do more for you than you think. Because like you said, you're not sitting there now coming off of basketball or coming off of soccer and going, crap, I got to get the mileage in. I got to get my base up. And you're already there. You ran fast. You ran hard. Now, another thing, you've been to New Balances a whole bunch. Any thoughts about going to Nike, or they have the new Under Armour one that popped up for like nationals? Like, any thoughts about going to anything different, or is New Balance kind of just what Wall does?
I think I'll probably stick with New Balance. Honestly, I mean maybe Nike, but I like New Balance. I've done that. I feel like I'm probably going to end up sticking with that.
Plus, that's where you're going to college anyway, so why not go up there and just
I like the trip. Like the trip over there.
I just didn't know if anything, especially for like outdoor Nikes in Oregon. So I don't know if some kids like do it just to go out to take a trip to Oregon, just to go. And if they never get the chance to run at Hayward in college or anything, like, let's go take this opportunity now.
Right. Whereas
people run that UPenn and stuff, or Penn relays and stuff. It's not as it's huge. It's wow, but it's like, I already do Penn relays. So let me go out there. Like, the opportunities are insane that you guys have now. Yeah. I'm so jealous of all
I know. It's unbelievable.
So anyway, Callie, we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Yes.
I like I said, you had a great XC. I think that you're going to surprise yourself in indoor, And I think the times are going to come easy, but keep going. You're going to kick some ass. And BU, I think, is getting a great one because anyone from the Shore Conference or Jersey that goes anywhere else goes and shows them how to do it. So go up there and show those Massachusetts people how real runners do it. So,
Thank you.
Dave, do you have anything before we sign out of here?
No, I just want to say, it's always great to see such local runners just running so well and just have such great mind frame of what they want and listen to their coaches. And BU is getting two really good athletes with you and Jess. And I just wish, you guys the absolute best. And it's just fun. It's a fun time to be in this area and to watch all this talent and to see, like, when I was in high school, like kids would go to like I went to East Strouds, like now these kids are going to these big, huge programs. And it's just great that this little area is producing so many amazing runners.
Absolutely. You guys are fantastic. So once again, she is Cali Buxbaum. You want to go follow her on Instagram? It's at Cali Bux08. You can watch her on her trials and tribulations and running and some workouts and some fun stuff. So go follow her over there. And as for us, you can follow us everywhere at Talking in Ovals. And like we said, we are in the Christmas spirit. So Dave and I will be gracing your screen again tomorrow. We will be having on the great Steve Williams again, continuing the conversation. Callie, the gentleman we're having on, Steve Williams, he was one of the first men to ever break 10 seconds in the 100.
Back in the 70s.
Back in the 70s. And
he's got
fought against the AAU for us to have everything that we have as
And
athletes.
he traveled the world, and his roommate was Steve Prefontaine. So it's just cool.
Wow.
Yeah, yep. Cool. So we have this is going to be part 2 with him because he has so much to tell. I think we got to like 1972 or 1973. And I think he like kicked in the doors of like Brooks like 7 times by now. So, but all right. So we appreciate it all. Callie, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, we'll be back talking to everybody tomorrow. So long, y'all.